Since 2013, only 3 teams have paid a visit to Alabama and walked away from Bryant-Denny Stadium with a W in the win column. Yesterday, 21st ranked Mizzou football was seeking to become number 4. That's quite the test for the Tigers to pass, but it's one the team needs to conquer to remain firmly in the hunt to achieve its SEC championship and college football playoff aspirations. With one loss already this season, which was suffered on Mizzou's last SEC road trip, the margin for error is shrinking. But MU is primed for this SEC showdown and the opportunity to potentially become the program that hands Alabama its 3rd loss, something that has not been happened in more than a decade. The big question entering this game is the status of quarterback Brady Cook. MU's signal caller did suit up to start this game, but head coach Eli Drinkwitz and company still had to embrace a next man up mentality, missing their leading rusher Nate Noel and wide receiver Mookie Cooper, who were ruled out due to injury. Now, the opening drive was a sign of the struggles to come on the offensive side of the ball. Mizzou trying to get tricky here with a flea flicker, but Jihad Campbell flies in for the sack. MU posted only about 100 total yards in the first half. But the Tiger defense kept MU within striking distance in the first 30 minutes. Johnny Walker Jr. beats his defender and takes down Jalen Milroe. Huge sack on 3rd down to stall that Alabama drive. Walker just kept wreaking havoc. Very next 3rd down for the Tide, and he delivers a big hit on Milroe for his 2nd sack of the day. Mizzou only trailed by 6 with about 5 minutes left until the break, but you can really only keep Bama out of the end zone for so long. Jamarian Miller punches in the first touchdown of the game from 3 yards out. MU now down 13-0 at halftime. Very first drive of the second half, the Crimson Tide marched right back down the field. Milroe has nowhere to go that way, but reverses field and dives for the pylon for the score. MU now facing a 20-point deficit. Cook had to leave the game in the first half due to a hand injury, so backup QB Drew Pine stepped in for Cook. He had a very up-and-down performance. 3rd and 10 for the Tigers. Pine takes off and absorbs a big hit to pick up a much-needed 1st down, but just 4 plays later, Pine made a costly mistake. He airs one out to Luther Burden down the field, but Bray Hubbard leaps up for the interception. Pine's 2nd pick of the day spoils that possession, but after a 3-and-out, Pine and company have another chance. He rolls out and fires a pass on the run to Theo Weiss Jr. for a 1st down. The Tigers are now in Bama territory. But just like the last drive, turnovers were a problem for Pine. He tries to hit Brett Norfleet down the sideline, but his pass finds the hands of Quavra Saw. That's 3 interceptions for Pine on the night, and those mistakes can't happen against Alabama at their place. Milroe hands it off to Justice Haynes. He breaks a tackle, and now he's off to the races. Haynes goes all the way to the crib for a 35-yard touchdown, making it a 34-0 ball game as Mizzou falls flat in Tuscaloosa. Mizzou gets shut out for the first time since 2019, 34-0. Drew Pine had a rough evening, only completing 50% of his throws along with 3 picks. Not an easy situation to be in, though. Filling in for Brady Cook after a hand injury from the 2nd drive of the game forced him to make an early exit. Just a rough night overall as MU falls to 6-2 on the year and now looks to regroup. ABC 17's Kyle Helms was at Bryant-Denny Stadium for yesterday's game and has more on Saturday's loss.
Ravaged by injuries and unable to find a rhythm offensively, Mizzou's 2nd SEC road trip of the season ended in disappointment, much like the first. The Tigers have now suffered 2 losses this season and got outscored by a combined 65 points in those 2 contests. Now, the scoreboard might not suggest it, but the resilience was still there, something MU will hope to lean on ahead of the home stretch of their season.
I told them before the game, no matter what happened, I wasn't going to be any more proud or, I loved them, right? And I lied to them. I was proud of them. I was more proud of them after that game. The way they faced adversity, the 3rd and 4th quarter to keep going out there and fighting for the, some of the older guys to want to go back in to make sure they didn't score that last touchdown. There's a lot of pride and a lot of fight in that locker room, and we're all disappointed with the result. We all came with a plan to win, and it wasn't our day today.
Our season's not over. We got, 4 or 5 games left. We got a bye week. Depending on what happens, playoffs or just try to get a good bowl game.
Well, college football is crazy these days with the playoffs. We have 2 losses and we still have a lot ahead of us. And, we have everything we want ahead of us. So, I guarantee you every single guy in that locker room is going to, hold their head high and come to practice next week and give everything they can.
Now Mizzou will have 2 weeks to regroup ahead of a date with Oklahoma after its 2nd bye week. That contest is scheduled to kick off on Saturday, November 9th. But for now, reporting in Tuscaloosa, Kyle Helms, ABC 17 Sports.